What if there's something in your everyday life that can transform the whole health of you and your multi-generational team? That'd be something we want to tap into, yes? It exists, but it's lying dormant inside most teams. Today, I'm going to help you awaken it. But first, in the not too distant past, anywhere on planet Earth, if it was a Friday, and it was, again, anywhere on planet Earth, Friday, pictured all of this, this is what it used to look like inside of a bank. Used to look like. Now, I've been told this is what it used to look like. I'm a millennial. I've never actually been inside of a bank before, so I'm going off of others' accounts of this. But in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, it's a Friday, payday. Folks are waving around their paycheck. They're using this time to connect and converse. And it was a wonderful opportunity to connect with your fellow community members. That is, until what? Until what showed up and crashed the connection party? I heard it over here. The ATM, the automated teller machine. Once that showed up, all of the connection that once occurred inside the local bank, anywhere on planet Earth, all the connection started to disappear. And here's the start of the decision that you and I now make consistently in our personal and professional lives, and that is you and I tend to choose convenience over connection. We're doing it all the time. We're doing it, again, our personal lives, professional lives, and so we choose these passive convenience, and oftentimes what gets sacrificed is our connection. And so this small decision, these micro decisions that you and I are making on a consistent basis, it's leading to what we now know and call a connection recession. So I'm going to share the data with you so you have a good insight and a good handle and get your hands around just how large this connection recession is. But just know with any recession, there's an opportunity to rebound. And I'm going to give you some insights and some tools today to be able to actually make that rebound happen with the goal of creating stronger teams. All right, so let's ask this question, a very important question. Does social connection really matter? And as humans, we are social beings, and so we know in our bones that this is important. But you and I were wildly underestimating how important this question is. And so to further unpack this, let's ask this question to the folks that live right there in the very northern part of Canada in a small community called Coca-Cola. Raise a hand. Who's been there? Oh, a few of you. Wonderful, wonderful. Not exactly a vacation destination, clearly, by this picture. But in this small community, in the not too distant past, and I guess let me back up just slightly, it can be really cold there. It can be 30 degrees below. Certain times of the year, it can be dark for 20 hours a day. So certainly this is a place that lends itself to disconnection, isolation. And unfortunately, in this part of the world, in the not too distant past, they had the highest teen suicide rate of any community on planet Earth. And so obviously they wanted to do something to reverse this tragic trend. So they did something a little bit unexpected, a little bit peculiar. And they decided to introduce the national sport of Canada into their community, which the national sport of Canada is a little bit of a trick question. I thought this group would get that one, but although I'm an American, so I'm not even sure what our national sport is, but I'll give you a pass. But I heard both of them. There's actually two national sports, hockey and lacrosse. Lacrosse was the first. But most folks outside of your great country immediately go to hockey, and then the next one they guess is curling. But in this case, they didn't go with hockey, which you'd think of that with how Arctic and icy and cold it is up there. They actually decided to introduce the lacrosse into their community, specifically at the high school level. So here's a picture of the Coca-Cola Grizzlies. And they fell in love with the game of lacrosse, and they began practicing on these icy Arctic fields. And eventually, the team that you see pictured there made it to the national championships in Toronto. That's remarkable. But the most remarkable thing about this story is, again, for a community that once had the highest teen suicide rate of any community on planet Earth, once they decided to introduce the game of lacrosse and a sense of connection, a sense of belonging took root in their community, that highest teen suicide rate fell to 0, year after year after year after year. So if we ask the important question, does social connection really matter? Well, if we're talking to the people of Coca-Cola, they would tell you 1,000% yes. It matters, it's important. Now, the conditions you're facing likely aren't as dire as those of our friends there in Kuglatuck, but make no mistake that social connection can have the same transformative power for you and your multi-generational teams.